Well, in Book 9 of the Aeneid, the Trojans have got a problem because Aeneas is not there. He's off in the future site of Rome raising allies with Evander. Um, but the problem for the Trojans, of course, is their number one warrior is not present. So what do they do? And in Book 9, really, the war begins in earnest. In Book 7, we've had the start of the war and the mustering of the Latins. In Book 8, we've got Aeneas going off to get his allies, the Etruscans, on the future site of Rome. But it's really only in Book 9 that your actual fighting gets going. And at first, it doesn't look very good for the Trojans because Aeneas, their five-star general, is up the Tiber sorting out his allies, and he's not actually on the coalface of fighting. And they're facing quite a tough warrior, Turnus, on the other side, who seems to be doing pretty well at the beginning of Book 9. And so this is the situation in which the Nisus and Euryalus story is cast. The Trojans are in a bit of a hole. They need Aeneas, they need to tell him what the situation is, and above all, they needed to come back and sort them out. In the passage which is set for GCSE, you have the great story of Nisus and Euryalus, a pair of warriors. Nisus is older, Euryalus is younger. They're clearly good friends and possibly lovers, and the idea of lover comrades is quite widespread in Greek culture, though not in Roman culture. This is one of the points in the poem where Virgil is not a typical Roman. And now Euryalus is a really interesting character because he's like a number of young figures in the poem who die before their time. And this is a key theme of the poem, which might be related to Augustus, the emperor at the time, and his lack of success in finding an heir. All the young men that he tries to get to be heir to the empire tend to die. So Euryalus takes his part in a sequence of people. And of course, it's very tragic if young people die before their time in real life and in literature. It's got lots of emotional power. Nisus is older and tougher. He's been round the yard a few times, I think. And they have this bright idea about the night expedition because their problem is they need to get through to Aeneas, they need to warn him that they're in trouble, they need to get him back. How do they do this when they're surrounded by the Latins? Well, they have to have a night expedition to get out through the Latin lines. And that's what they decide to do.